Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this Friday edition of Mornings, April 3rd, 2020. We're going into the Brady Bunch view here in a second. And we'll say hello, everybody, at the same time. What's going on? There's our crew saying hello to you this morning. As we all know, we saw this week that the governor has extended the stay-at-home order until the end of this month. But the bigger story for our schools is that the schools have been closed indefinitely. So basically at this point, we're just waiting for a decision of when it's safe to return. So no more every 2 weeks waiting for another deadline. So at this point, we're just saying stay tuned. So distance learning started this week for everybody across the North Penn School District, and we asked a lot of people to send us their first day photos. We had an overwhelming response, so if you haven't seen them, go to our Facebook page. Today, for North Penn Spirit Day, North Penn School District Spirit Day, we're doing Chalk the Walk, and we're asking folks to get outside and on their sidewalk out front to go ahead and write an inspirational message to folks at home and inspire people out there taking a walk. So it's Chalk the Walk. Go out there, make a nice drawing for your neighbors, inspire some folks, use appropriate social distancing, and then put it on our North Penn Facebook page. If you put it on Twitter, hashtag North Penn Strong. All right, so North Penn High School had a Spirit Week this week. Let's jump over to Sophia Hughes and find out a little more about that.
Thanks, Mr. Gilmore. Spirits stayed high this week, not only for our first week of distance learning, but also for North Penn's first virtual Spirit Week. Monday, you showed us your best bedhead or crazy hair as you got back to work. Tuesday, you celebrated what would have been the return of the Disney trip with Disney Day. Wednesday, you stayed in your PJs all day for Pajama Day. That one's easy. Thursday, you wore your best North Penn gear. And Friday, students are taking things outside to show us how they're doing distance learning. Thank you to everyone who participated, and look out for another Spirit Week in the future. Let's check in with Mr. Brumball himself for this week's Brumball Challenge.
Hey, welcome to another at-home edition of the Brumball Challenge. Are you ready for this week's question? Here goes. On this date in 1882, Robert Ford
Aren't we coming
became a very famous man. Why? The answer when we get back.
It looks like we lost Cassie there. She's in a still frame. So what we're going to go to next is Brandy. If you can go ahead and get into your conversation with Mr. Brett.
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Geller. So yesterday, I got the chance to catch up with Mr. Brett, who works in the College and Career Center, to get some updates on all the different things that we have been having changed since we moved to digital learning. So to start, as most people know, the AP tests are now online. They will be in a free response format and 45 minutes long. A date for testing has not been announced yet, but typically they're in the beginning or mid-May. AP students should stay in touch with their teachers on what is coming up next for them. Moving on, the SATs in March and May have been canceled. As of now, the ones in June and August are still on. It is important for juniors to know that many colleges are becoming test optional, as they realize that some students will not or did not get the chance to take the SAT or ACT. Students should check in with the colleges they are interested in applying to see if their college is now test optional. Seniors should remember to continue working hard in order to keep up with their work for graduation. Mr. Brett has a message for all students during these times who may need resources.
Teachers are collaborating more than ever. I think that students need to work with their teachers more than ever. And I also think that one of the biggest things as far as classwork is that students need to fully read the email, fully read the post of a teacher, and also fully watch the video, because 99% of the time, those answers to their questions are in either the email, the post, or the video. North Penn Guidance Department is hosting course selection still for the 10th and 11th grade classes. I know that's been a huge part of what's going on for the guidance counseling department. We have offered tons of supports for our students who who need mental health support, and that's a very important piece of what we do is offering resources for mental health situations. We do have supports available for us. Please reach out to your guidance counselor, and those counselors can give you resources moving forward in that. The colleges are more than happy to help you. I'm more than happy to help you with that kind of stuff. Please reach out to me with any questions, because that's what we do, and that's what we're here for. We're here for you. We want to make sure that we can get you guys through this situation as easily as possible.
Mr. Frye and Mr. Fluck are back this week. Here's fitness with Fluck and Frye.
Hello and welcome to Fitness with Fluck and Frye. We're glad to have you back for our second week here, and congrats to your first week of distance learning. Special shout out for Mr. Frye and to all the staff that made this possible, and to all the students who took this seriously this week. It's my week to choose the activity, and if you're anything like me, you like to get outside. Being stuck inside these past 2 weeks has been hard, so any nice weather I get, I like to get outside, and my favorite activity to do when I'm outside is riding my bike. So Mr. Frye, I know you just got a giant new bike. I challenge you to biking. Let's go. Safety first, everybody.
Oh, Mr. Fluck, you don't think I ride? I get on the bike every single day. We got the Peloton about 4 months ago. It's been a great thing. Quick shout out to my Peloton bike gang members, Miss McGinley, Miss Seiler, Miss Summers, and Miss Young. We'll see you on the leaderboard.
Hey North Penn, thanks for joining Mr. Frye on our ride today. This is my preferred method of exercise. Not only great for physical health, but mental health. It's so nice to be able to get outside and kind of get away and escape being stuck inside all day. So get out there, dust off your old bikes, make sure those brakes work, think of safety, always wear a helmet. Get out and join us out on those roads. We miss you, North Penn. We hope you're doing well, and we hope you're staying fit. Take care.
Me and the boys like to go on the paths in our local neighborhood, so we're going for our ride today, all right? Everyone, try to get outside. Go for a walk, go for a run. Maybe you got a bike in the garage, go for a bike ride. It's so nice to get out, all right? We miss you. I hope everyone's doing well. I hope to see you all soon, and we'll see you next time on Fitness with Frye and Fluck.
And Colton. And Cooper.
As the first week of distance learning comes to a close, we asked how everyone's distance learning was going on this week's Question of the Week.
I think distance learning is going well. I'd rather be at school, but the workload isn't too bad right now.
Distance learning is going great. I can wake up whenever I want, do my assignments, and still have the rest of the day to relax.
I think distance learning is going really well. I'm not enjoying it, and I would rather be at school.
Distance learning for me has been going great because I can work at my own pace. I can wake up whenever, just not like too late, and it's amazing.
Distance learning has been okay for the most part, but I think I'd much rather be in the classroom with learning from my teachers and being able to talk to my friends.
I'd say distance learning is going really well. I'm actually able to wake up at a reasonable hour and then finish my work pretty quickly. And so I do like that part about it.
I think distance learning is going pretty well, but my Chromebook stops working sometimes, so it's kind of frustrating.
So let me tell you about distance learning. It's been great.
That's right. Yeah, I'm right here actually with Miss Westland right now. So Miss Westland, what were your thoughts on the first week of distant learning?
Well, I was so excited when I saw my kids' names pop up in the Google Classroom or in emails to me. I've missed them more than I thought I would, I guess, but it was nice to really be able to work with them again. One thing that I noticed, a lot of my students who might be a little quiet in the classroom, their personalities are really coming out when they're sitting behind the computer and answering questions that I have and, cutting a little jokes and being a little more personable than maybe in the classroom. So I've really, really enjoyed working with the kids this week in a different format.
Justin, I got to be honest with you. I miss all my students like you wouldn't believe. I want to be back in that classroom. So let's hope everybody's safe and everybody's doing a good job washing their hands. But for distance learning, for me, it's just creating tons of videos and trying to get them to the students so they understand how to do their work. And for career study, for kids that used to go out and actually go onto the job site. Now we're just doing flip grids with each other, learning about what they missed the most and what they're going to do next year when they get started in college. But I need everybody to stay safe so we can get back into school and keep washing those hands.
Let's check in with Mr. Nicholson, who we have just randomly started calling in at the nick of time. We're still working on that. Mr. Nicholson, how has the first week gone for digital learning? What was the feedback you got from students, parents, and teachers?
Thanks, Cassie. First of all, I think you do need to keep working on that in the nick of time. Maybe that should be a question of the week and crowdsource a good answer for that. But I appreciate you guys having me on. So far, the feedback that we've gotten on the first week of distance learning has been pretty positive overall. Clearly, when you are going online with 3,000 students and 200 teachers, there are going to be some challenges. But for the most part, every piece of feedback, most of the feedback I've received has been pretty positive. It's going to take some time to get used to this as the new normal. But for the most part, people have been pretty happy with how things have been going. I know there are some students and teachers that are pretty overwhelmed with all of this, and we're trying to work out some of the kinks there to make it a little bit more smooth for everyone. But so far, I think it's been so good.
Great. And what do you have to say to students that might be feeling a little overwhelmed with the workload that's coming through right now?
Yeah, that's a good question. Like I said, we're trying to get some feedback. Actually, our assistant principals talked with about 60 students yesterday, and some students may be interviewed or maybe getting a survey soon to kind of see where that lies. As I said, for the most part, students have seemed to be pretty positive based on the conversations that were had yesterday and this morning. But if you're overwhelmed, I would recommend reaching out to your teachers. In a vacuum, if a teacher is assigning some work for you and they think it may take a half hour, but it takes an hour times 7, that's a lot of work. So reach out to the teachers, let them know how you're feeling. Let them know that you're spending lots and lots of time, and I think we'll find a happy medium here. There are some students that have said that they're really not spending a whole lot of time and they're getting everything done, and then there are some students in other courses that are really really overwhelmed. So reach out to your teachers, let them know how you're feeling, and I think we'll find some equilibrium here. It's only been 4 or 5 days. And clearly this is something brand new for everyone. So there's a feeling out process, but I think we'll get there.
Great. Thank you so much, Mr. Nicholson, for joining us again.
Thanks for having me, Cassie.
So let's go ahead and throw this to Sophia. You're up if you want to unmute your mic. And let's talk about student jobs. There are students that are still working. Tell us what you found out in talking to some folks here.
Yeah, so although it feels like every workplace may be shut down, there are some students that still are on the job at places like
West Point Deli, Panera Bread,
Boston Style Pizza,
Ray's Pizza.
And I asked those students, how are they staying safe?
We have to clean the counters,
wipe off the pens.
We've been doing only pickup and delivery orders. Sign our name and a sign-in sheet to keep everything under control. We also offer curbside if people want it, just in case they aren't comfortable coming in.
Every time we give someone an order, we always have to wash our hands.
Just been using a lot of hand sanitizer, washing our hands more often.
Many students agree that it's been taking some adjusting to, but understand the precautions and are glad to still be working. We hope workplaces continue to stay clean and keep our students safe. Throwing it over to Eric to hear all the new updates on the 2K tournament.
All right, thank you, Sophia and Mr. Gilmore, and good morning, North Penn. Hope you guys are doing great this morning and doing well, and have been in great anticipation for the results of our NPTV 2K20 March Madness tournament opening round. The 16 players were picked following the live announcement of the open invitation bracket last Friday, and the entries came in fast. It will be the battle of the consoles, where 8 Xbox One players and 8 PS4 players locked up spots and will be looking to win out their respective side of the bracket to earn a trip to the championship game against the top player in the other respective gaming console. Let's take a look now at our opening round play from earlier this week. Week 1 held 8 games and 8 players moving on to round 2. While game clips and highlights of the matchups this week play on your screen, here are the results and players moving on to round number 2. In the PS4 bracket, playing as the Lakers, Brendan Subek defeats Nick Koch 106-101 final score. Playing as the Sixers, Ronak Lashkari defeats Josh Hittle 106 to 90 final. Playing at the Pelicans, Zade Richardson defeats Kevon White 72 to 68 final. Playing as the Clippers, John Graber defeats Kenneth Grandy 45 to 32 final. In the Xbox One bracket, playing as the Bucks, Michael Carmody defeats Nick Gianvacaro 82 to 76 final. Playing as the Sixers, Drew Commando defeats Tyler Chapetti 85 to 81 final. Playing as the Sixers, Joe Leone defeats Justin DePietro 103 to 89 final. Finally, playing as the Nets, Lucas Kyle defeats Alex Key 85 to 68 final. Tournament play resumes next Monday in the quarterfinal round with games between Brendan Subek and Ronak Lashkari, Zade Richardson and John Graber, Michael Carmody and Drew Commando, and finally Joe Leone against Lucas Kyle. Read my article on the Nightcrawler site for a summary of each of this week's games in our NPTV 2K20, PS4, and Xbox One March Madness tournament as we move on to round number 2 of the tournament next week. All right, North Penn, make sure to tune in once again next week for another recap of the quarterfinal round, and best of luck to the 2K players squaring off their battles this week in the matchup of the bracket. Let's now send it over to Justin O'Neill.
Thanks, Eric. Did he stump you this week? Is Mr. Swindell's going 2 for 2 this week? Let's check in with Mr. Brumbo for the answer.
Hey, the answer you've all been waiting for. On this date in 1882, Robert Ford killed the infamous outlaw Jesse James, and so an American legend was born. Bet you didn't know that? Now you do. Thanks for playing this week's at-home version of the Broomball Challenge. And everyone out there, stay safe and stay healthy, and I can't wait to see you soon. Take care.
Well, Justin, you had asked, would Mr. Swindell's go 2 for 2? The question, or the answer, is yes. Mr. Swindell's with the correct answer once again. Maybe he's been catching up on Netflix by watching the movie with Brad Pitt, The Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Bob Ford. So that is the answer. It's not the last we're going to be hearing of Mr. Swindell's this week, though, is it, Mr. Gilmer?
Oh, we were going to be wrapping up the show here. I'll go back into our Brady Bunch view. Hello, everybody, again. So we're going to leave you today. Mr. Swindell's and his family have been posting daily songs for inspiration. I'm trying to come up as the Von Trapp family singers, the Swindell's singers, the singers Von Swindell's. But Mr. Swindell's and his family having a lot of fun with kazoos. So we're going to share a little bit out today of what he's doing, proving that, yes, you can have fun with your siblings and your parents and still find interesting and new things to do at home. I hope everybody had a great week of First Distance Learning. Continue to follow us on Twitter, on our Facebook page, at NPTV for our Twitter, the North Penn School District Facebook page. Lots of content. And we continue to ask all of you, get your begging faces on for video and content. I know we've been asking a lot of people to come in, send us your clips, send us your ideas, make sure we have the content from you. So there are 3,000 students at North Penn High School. I know we can get a lot more clips in for Question of the Week and other segments. We're working on a new morning's intro, right, Cassie? So we want to see some clips at home. Give us a smile, give us a wave, and just send those clips to us, nptv at npenn.org. That's it for this edition. We'll all wave on the way out here, and then we're going to roll the Swindell's family Broomball Challenge winner with their video this week. Thanks, everybody. Have a great week.